Diversity is about difference. Today's workforce is a mosaic of ethnic groups, religions, genders, physical abilities, sexual orientations, and lifestyles. Organizations which embrace equality and diversity understand that each and every one of their people is unique. Difference is not only acknowledged, it's highly valued.
Diversity takes the approach that people should be treated as individuals, and it's about respecting the individual. It's about treating everyone fairly and treating everyone with equal levels of respect. That may not be treating everybody exactly the same.
The thing that's in it for staff is that they feel more connected with their organisation. It's as simple as that. They actually feel you've got an organisation here who will treat me on merit. That if I'm talented, I'll actually be able to progress. That if I have a contribution to make, it will be listened to. That if there's a team, I'm going to have a perspective which will be valued.
The Equality Act was introduced in October 2010.
The Equality Act brings together all the existing equality laws and puts them into one piece of legislation, and that includes laws on employment and laws on the provision of goods, facilities and services.
It protects people from harassment, victimization and discrimination on the grounds of age, disability, gender reassignment, marriage and civil partnership, pregnancy and maternity, race, religion and belief, sex, and sexual orientation. Collectively, these criteria are known as protected characteristics.
You know, it's not about creating a sterile working environment. We all want to enjoy our work. We want to go there. It's an important part of our life. We want to have fun there from time to time. We want to enjoy working with the people we work with.
One of the key things that are happening at work is that we want to get along with each other. And if you challenge another person, you're into conflict, and we may not get along with one another. Therefore, it makes us less inclined to do it. That then means that the consequence of that is that behaviour that shouldn't be tolerated within an organisation is.
Prayer time again, I suppose.
I'm not going for a fag, that's for sure.
He spends more time praying than he does at his desk.
One in 4 people say they have been bullied at work in the last 5 years.
Just felt that everyone was judging me.
I would just dread going into work.
My work definitely suffered because of the way she treated me.
I felt really upset.
Direct discrimination is when someone is treated less favourably than someone else because of a protected characteristic.
Loads of work stuff gets talked about after work, over a drink. And I was brought up not to drink, so, I don't go to pubs.
I know she fits the spec, and I know you want to employ more women, but can we be practical for a moment? Now, I've got 2 of my best people off on maternity leave right now. 2. Now, the last thing I need is another woman who might go and get pregnant.
Indirect discrimination is when a rule or policy that applies to everyone puts a certain group at a disadvantage.
So, it looks like we all think the strongest candidate is...
The chap who's done a year at Foley's.
Leo Cohen. Yeah, but we can't use him because of the Friday problem.
Well, it seems a shame not to be able to give him the job just because we have management meetings on Friday afternoons and he's asked to be able to get away early.
Well, Friday evenings are important for Jewish people. I mean, at least he was upfront about it.
Yeah, but that's when the meetings are. We've tried other days, it just doesn't work.
Well, it seems a shame.
Well, it does. We can't change the whole system just to accommodate one junior manager. So, let's take another look at the guy with the engineering degree.
Discrimination by association is direct discrimination towards an individual because they are associated with someone who has a protected characteristic.
It was totally out of order saying something like that. Yes, my sister's gay, but he was implying all sorts of things. I want something done about it. There's a law against this now.
Harassment is unwanted conduct which has the purpose or effect of violating a person's dignity or creating an intimidating, degrading, humiliating, or offensive environment.
There was quite a few times when he'd invite himself out to lunch with me, or he'd wait for me after work and hang around just so he could walk to the tube station with me. There wasn't really anything specific at first. He just wouldn't leave me alone. And we worked together, so, I tried to be nice to him, but, keep it professional, but I really didn't do anything to encourage him.
Victimization is where someone is treated badly because they have made or supported a complaint under the Equality Act.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tanya. I'm sorry I caused offence. Sorry that you're such a delicate and fragile creature that you fall apart the moment someone lets slip the occasional expletive. I mean, for goodness sake, did you really think this was the time to talk about this? When we're all under pressure to hit our targets? I can't believe you honestly thought that this was important enough to warrant a meeting. You need to take a long, hard look at your priorities, girl.
Discrimination by perception is direct discrimination of someone because others perceive them to have a protected characteristic, even if they don't.
She's young, she's free, she's good looking, but she never mentions men. And there's this girl, Jo, who calls her once, sometimes twice a day. Hello, this is Jo, is Hannah there? And you get the feeling like they're really close, and it makes you wonder.
In addition to our legal obligations, we all have a moral responsibility to make sure we behave in a way that does not create an intimidating, degrading, humiliating or offensive environment for the people around us.
He's very religious, Al Mohammed.
Yep, just don't get in the lift with him when he's got his rucksack on.
What was that, Dave? What's up, Simon and Mum?
No, I'm just sick of your pathetic jokes.
Not everyone's a leather or a bloody puff.
Steve, I've told you before, don't call me a puff.
You are a puff, aren't you?
I'm gay, yeah, you know I am.
What you got? Not a bad album.
Nah, it's a great album.
What you get?
You probably won't like it, Sue. It's not Barry Manilow. Different generation.
We might like to think that we haven't recognised certain things, or we're not taking into consideration certain things like their skin colour, their gender, whether they have a physical disability and their age. But the reality is that those are the 4 things that we will clock immediately about somebody.
Oh, hello, can I help?
Hi, I'm here for the lecture.
Oh, I'm afraid it doesn't start till 3.
I know, I'm Karen Jackson. I'm giving the lecture.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise you were wheelchair bound.
We are all built to stereotype. We all hold stereotypes about other groups of people. So we're automatically categorising. So when we look at someone, we're trying to put them into a box.
Oh, one moment, please. Thanks. Professor Roberts?
Yes. I'm here to pick up a package. I think this is for you.
The behaviour that people can find acceptable and unacceptable can vary widely according to personality, experience and culture.
You've got to think about whether the other person sees it as appropriate. If they think it's inappropriate, then it's inappropriate. And it's understanding that that's important.
How to be sexy on your 50th birthday. Ooh. Cut
peekaboo holes in your incontinence pads. It's a joke.
Sometimes when I talk to people whose behaviour has been seen as being offensive, they say, but I didn't mean it that way, and they think that that lets them off the hook. Unfortunately, it doesn't. From a legal perspective, what matters is not what you intend when you behave in a particular way or make a particular comment. It's about the way that colleagues receive that. And if somebody perceives your behaviour as being offensive or humiliating or degrading, then that is going to be harassment.
If people are not happy in the workplace, then their productivity will go down. And for the time that they're there, they're not producing to their full potential, and that's a loss to the workplace.
Ultimately, the consequences of an employment tribunal, if a company is found guilty, would be that those people who were the perpetrators would be fired, would lose their jobs, and of course the compensation elements, the huge costs that companies would incur to deal to settle the matter.
It could result in reputational risk for the organisation because they may find their name splashed on the cover of the paper, and it can also really impact on morale and possibly on recruitment and employee relations in terms of movement of staff and how people feel about working for that organisation.
If you've got prejudice, you need to leave it at the workplace door. You need to not bring those attitudes and opinions into work. You need to be able to work in a professional manner.
I think having an inclusive workplace is absolutely essential for business. We're not just talking about obeying the law and avoiding the horrors of employment tribunals. We're talking about making sure that we can recruit the best people from the widest possible pool of talent.
If you get a wider pool of talent applying to your organisation and you have good selection processes, which mean you select the best people, that's going to be good for your organisation. If you have promotion processes and appraisal processes which are able to identify the best people in your organisation and they're the ones who get promoted, then that's obviously good for your organisation.
I think if people feel that they can be themselves, they're more comfortable. If they're more comfortable in the workplace, they're likely to perform better. They'll be more satisfied, more motivated, and that leads to better performance. So it's a virtuous circle.